Well, hello. Today I am showing a solution to global file syncing across the Linux, Windows devices, phones, and so forth. There's usually three solutions that I found that are really good, and the first one is basically SSH. Just use an SSH reverse tunnel. I will show that what that is in a bit. The other one is Syncthing. A really good thing about Syncthing is that it's an open protocol, it's open source, and you can basically read what it does, and it's very handy to sync files. The difference between these two is that this one can sync files as well as provide you with a shell, and also it can provide you with, it can reverse tunnel a specific port. You can reverse tunnel SSH specifically and then get access to the whole shell of the device. But if you don't want to, you can SSH reverse tunnel just a specific port. For example, a local FTP server on your device, and then have access only to the FTP server. Syncthing, on the other hand, it's a user interface, basically like this. You provide your devices, and you provide the folders that you want to sync, and then they're synced constantly, as long as your devices are online. The third option is hole punching, which at the end of the day is used by Syncthing, and the OpenSSH method I will show can be sort of explained by hole punching, but it's essentially, if you want, you can do it yourself, write your own program for hole punching, but that's not just a weekend project, that's a years-long worth of project development. So I'm going to be showing these two, and this video is just inspired by Bugs Writer because he showed his solution to file syncing and the Linux ecosystem. The problem I have that is it works only locally, so you cannot connect to your phone if the phone is not connected to the network, or if you are somewhere outside, you cannot connect to your home server or your home computer, because they're not exposed online. You usually don't expose your computer to the outside internet. So how do you do it? You basically run this command. Assuming that this is your username on the server and this is the server domain or the server IP, this would be the reversed port on that server that will be created, and this is the local port that you are providing to the server. So in this case, I'm creating a tunnel from my local SSH server to the remote device, and creating a port on that device that will be 2222, that will be connected through an SSH tunnel to this port. So essentially, if I were to run this, which it's already running in the background, I could then SSH to my VPS from anywhere and then do this. So I would connect to port 2222 with a username unknown, which my SSH server running on my computer here would recognize, and there you go. I am connected through SSH from my computer to the VPS server back to my computer. And this I can do from basically my phone, my work laptop, my secondary laptop, anywhere. As long as this server is operational and this tunnel is working and my computer is online. If my computer dies, of course, then everything dies with it, but I can just keep it running in the background, or ask somebody at home to open it for me, and then set up a boot script to automatically establish the communication. Because this uses private public key pair, it doesn't require authentication. And finally, I can then connect to it. I can SSH luser 0xdeadbeer xyz and then SSH into that port. If you don't believe me, watch this. I'm now again on my VPS server, asrec 0x.0xyz. If I SSH to port 2221 with user, then I will be connecting to the reverse tunnel of my phone. And I can connect from anywhere. My phone is not even on the local network right now. It's on mobile data. So I can connect to it from anywhere. I can connect to it from my work laptop, from my, I don't know. This thing can basically be used as a GPS tracker if I wanted, because from Tiermax, from this terminal, I can now access its location, its microphone, whatever. It's basically a spy device. So that's pretty cool, but you know, aside from this useless feature, I can access files on here, or I can troubleshoot something, or I can just use SCP for file download. But for files, I usually use just Syncthing. So really, this solution would be for my computers, because I most of the time I'm not at home, or I'm somewhere else, and I need some file from my computer, or I need something for work. I would SSH directly into the computer from my server. The only thing you have to be careful with is when you are doing a reverse tunnel, you have to close those two ports, those ports that you are reverse tunneling, because in that case, then somebody will be able to SSH to that port. Like somebody would be able to do this and directly connect to my computer this way, because it's a reverse tunnel. You know, you can connect to this port on that device and it will be streamed to my computer. So you have to restrict only localhost access to those ports if you don't want somebody from the outside of the server to connect. You have to restrict so that they first have to SSH into the server and then SSH into the local port. That's just more secure. It's double SSH authentication versus one, so yeah, it's a lot better. And plus, use public-private key pairs to make sure really that you are the only one connecting. And so yeah, that would be my home, my work laptop, and the phone, all three at the same time, which I can access from literally anywhere. Then you can use SCP for SSH file transfer, to copy files from one computer to the other, or to the phone, or some other way. But let's say you don't want SSH, you want some other protocol. Let's say, I don't know, you want Python and HTTP server, you want to, or maybe, no, let's go to the PDFs. I want to share my PDFs with my phone, with my work laptop, whatever, because it's studying material and so forth. So now I opened a port on 8000, and what I can do now is SSH NR port 2224, let's say, and that would be port 8000 for me. So you're creating a reverse tunnel on this port to streaming it to my local port 8000. There you go. And then I can do a double reverse tunnel. So I can then reverse tunnel from this computer to my local phone. Because since the VPS is a static IP, I can do that. I can just, you know, on my phone, I would run something like I think it would be I don't know really, but you could do it. You could do a reverse tunnel, maybe something like this. Probably. Or maybe so in some way it's definitely possible with SSH. You could just do a double reverse tunnel and have this port now be accessible on basically on my phone, because you would be routing the traffic from this phone to the VPS server, and then from the VPS server to my home computer, and I would be able to access those PDFs. So yeah, you can reverse tunnel a lot of things. You can reverse tunnel a local Python server, or a website, or a local FTP server, or just the SSH server itself to get SSH access. But make sure that you are running actually a SSH server, because you need one in order to reverse tunnel it. So yeah. The third option is obviously Syncthing, which for the paranoid ones, it's open protocol, open source, so you can actually read all of the things that it's doing. At first I thought that all of the data was going to be streamed from my computer to my phone across some community servers, but that's not the case if you disable it. It's just that only happens if the connection between the phone and the PC are not if it cannot be established. So in that case, it tries to use the gateway servers of community, although you can host your own ones and provide it to the Syncthing instance. It will use community servers to stream data across them to try to get the data to the other device. But you can disable that, you can provide your own gateway servers, and you can restrict that. So yeah. In either case, community servers are usually only used to establish a hole punch-through technique. So basically your IP and the IP of the other device have to be synced in some place, and as well as the port, to then establish a peer-to-peer communication between the two. And I forgot to mention that all of the files that are streamed across are encrypted. So you can read the protocol and really see for yourself what it's using. Again, TLS 1.3 and so forth. So yeah, and SHA, whatever. So yeah, this is what you would use if you don't want to pay for a lot of drive storage, because people pay for I don't know 200 gigabytes or a terabyte of drive storage. I mean, drive is fine, but if you care about privacy, you might as well just encrypt your data and send it to drive before sending it there. Or in this case, this is like the easiest solution. You just don't pay for anything. You just sync your files with a $5 server. Because this is the good part. All of what I explained is not even resource intensive. You can rent a like $4 server per month, and it will be just fine to sync files using these methods. So it's, for Syncthing, actually you don't even need a server. You can just sync directly between the phone and the computer, no matter where your phone and computer are. So it doesn't matter, as long as they have internet connection, of course. And then when they get down, when you shut them down, they will be out of sync. But then the second you bring them back up, they will try to establish they will try to resolve conflicts and sync everything that was unsynced. So that's the solution.